All right, I'm done. That's it. I've given it a ton of time. I've tried to wait and have as much opportunity to see improvement come as possible, but I can't wait anymore. Gigabyte RGB Fusion 2.0 is a wreck of a software suite, and it's just a failure, and Gigabyte really needs to do something to fix it. But I can help you get it fixed, and you're not going to like what you're going to have to do. In my second video where I covered RGB Fusion 2.0, I saw some improvements, saw some problems, but overall thought, hey, there is some hope that this is heading in the right direction. Well, come to today, and I had to work on a memory review from Gale, and Gale doesn't have any software, so I have to use Oris's software to control the lighting on the RAM sticks. I wanted to show off different colors. And I get the RAM sticks in, I get to test it out, it works one time, I get ready to start doing recording. RGB Fusion 2.0 will not load, won't work at all. And guys, I basically finally figured out how to fix it. I had to do a full reformat of my computer and just do a complete fresh install. And I don't understand why. Now, I'm gonna explain, I think, what's happening, but I don't know how to fix it. So if any of you guys kind of pick up on what I'm putting down here and you're like, hey, I think I know a fix, let us know in the comments below because that'd be hugely helpful. But basically what I found out is, I don't know what it is, but after so many updates of either the software or Windows itself, it's like, or if you're changing hardware and you don't have a fresh install, it's like the RGB Fusion it quits working and it doesn't know how to read the hardware that's installed in the system, and it's a royal pain in the butt. And I don't understand why it's so complicated, because here's what I found out. I ended up installing an NVMe drive into my test bench and installing a fresh copy on that, which means that I could easily switch back to my Crucial MX500 SSD and just do some comparison. I finally realized what would happen is when it finally just broke and I couldn't fix it, it didn't matter how many times I uninstalled and reinstalled it. I used CCleaner to clean the registries in between, tried all kinds of deleted the Gigabyte folders to try to just erase any trace of it. Nothing, wouldn't work. I went in to my system, I would start it up, and it would be like it would try to start and then it would close. And then like every few seconds, I saw some people on forums saying like every hour. Yeah, mine was like every few seconds it would be trying to pop up and then shutting down, pop up and shutting down. So once I got it installed in my fresh install, my NVMe drive, it was working fine, and I noticed something. If you go into the notification properties, you can pull up a list of all the applications that should be allowed to show in the taskbar notification area. And when you turn them on and off, it doesn't mean that they disappear entirely. It just means if you turn it on, it shows all the time in the taskbar, where if you turn it off, it'll remain hidden unless you click that little up arrow to show it. RGB Fusion showed up in that list of the properties as well as in my taskbar when it was working right. But when I go back to my old install on my SSD, I cannot get RGB Fusion to show up in the taskbar notification area at all. It just doesn't happen anymore. I don't know why that's happening, but I think that's the problem, guys. I think whatever's breaking, when that icon can't show up in the taskbar, the software just kills itself and tries to restart, putting it in an endless loop. Now, right? That's still really dumb, because that means you can never start the software and you can't get your RGB lighting on your motherboard to work the way that you want it to. So yeah, I mean, I guess on one hand, good news, right? I found a workaround, and for me, that's not like a huge deal. My test bench doesn't have important software. I also have gig fiber in my house, so if I have to re-download games, reinstall crap, it's not a big deal to me. But for a lot of you out there, that sucks. Like, that is just flat out uncalled for. So I hate to rip on this company because I really love their boards. I love their design. But This software, I mean, as a test bench reviewer guy, if I can't find workarounds just to get it to work so I don't have to do a complete reformat of my system, they're doing something really screwed up unless I'm missing something stupidly obvious. But I don't think so, because I put a poll on my channel and everyone was like, yeah, pretty much Asus wins out on the best software. Not that they're perfect, but best in comparison. And you can go across the internet and find complaint that this RGB Fusion 2.0 isn't working. So guys, I'm calling Gigabyte out on it. They've got to do something about this, because otherwise, even I'm going to be at a point where if I get slammed into a review situation where I can't get something to work because of their board, I'm going to quit using their boards and I'm going to switch to Asus, because it looks like I have my best chance of getting software to work properly there. So guys, I hope the reformatting information is helpful. I mean, you know, that's great. You can get it to work if you just do a clean wipe of your OS. But other than that, I hope that maybe we can get some more attention on this. Maybe Gigabyte can put some serious software developers on this, or even better yet, when is a motherboard manufacturer going to work with other RGB software? All right, so for instance, I just got done, what was it? ViewSonic has a bunch of elite gaming monitors, and they are going to coincide with other softwares from like Thermaltake's RGB control, Razer Synapse, or I think it's, I don't remember the name, but you know, Razer has their RGB software, and then even Cooler Master, they have a RGB software control. Even things like Corsair, their software setup, NZXT's CAM. If these motherboard manufacturers could start working with those software companies and say, all right, we're going to let your software control our motherboard lighting, that would solve all the problems. Then we also wouldn't need more software to control more lighting, because the other thing is softwares tend to conflict. So I want to see these motherboard manufacturers start finding a way to get their motherboard lighting to work with some of these major software suites that can control everything. In fact, my favorite choice is probably, surprisingly, Razer, because Razer's already got such a huge ecosystem that I bet you they'd work great with graphics cards, with peripherals, and if they just had motherboards too, you could just install one software program and control all of your RGB lighting, and that's how it needs to be. So that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think too, if you agree with me on the motherboards working with these companies, because I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty fed up with it. It really hit me hard on my schedule. But I know some of you guys, you're just fed up with it because you want your system to work properly, and bad software is not an excuse for these companies anymore. Still love my gaming X470 X470 Gaming 7 motherboard. It's a great board. It looks wonderful. Just wish that software wasn't so terrible. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and sign out now. Thanks for checking in. Hardware Hound. Catch you later.